what a giant $120,000 rubber duck can teach you about how you do your marketing. Coming up next. Good Marc TV morning. I am here in downtown Toronto, right by Lake Ontario, and you'll see behind me is a giant 60-foot giant rubber duck, which has come in here and become not only a great source of, well, interest for everyone living in Toronto and those visiting from other places, but also somewhat of a, well, controversy in the fact that the province spent $120,000 on this rubber duck, and a lot of people are saying, $120,000 on a rubber duck, is that worth it? I mean, look at it. It has nothing to do with Toronto. It has nothing to do with Canada. I mean, maybe it should have been like a beaver or a loon or something, but a rubber duck, what relevance does this have? So here's one big problem. Those who are looking at this as simply a giant duck are going to have issues with the money being spent on it, and rightfully so, because a giant rubber duck has absolutely no relevance to the city of Toronto. I mean, maybe if it was a beaver or a loon, sure, but a giant rubber duck, I don't think so. But that is not how they should be looking at it. Instead, they should be looking at it as an attraction. And when you look at it as an attraction, and the hundreds of thousands of people who have come down here to see this duck and to share it on social media with their friends, their family, their connections, wherever in the world they might be, you're building awareness for not only Toronto but Canada. And that in itself is worth far more than $100,000. Which brings us to a very common marketing problem that we can all learn from. You see, a lot of people are looking at this from a return on investment standpoint. They're trying to figure out for every dollar they spend on a giant rubber duck, how much money are they going to get back? When what they should really be doing is looking at it from a value on investment perspective. Because you're not just getting a return. In fact, in some cases you can't get a measurable return, but what you can get is value. And that value is, in this case, coverage. People are talking about it, they're discussing it, they're basically advertising the city of Toronto for free. And you can't put a real dollar value on that, but what you can do is put value on it. I mean, think about it. How much would you be willing to pay to have people all over the world talking about you, your company, your product, or your service? So for you as a business owner, maybe it's not about a giant rubber duck. Maybe it's not even about things like business cards or flyers or direct mail piece or a new website. Maybe it's about doing something different, something a little unusual, something that no one's thought of, that you might be wondering, you know, is there really a return on investment? And I'm here to say, maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe you should be looking at it as, what's the value on your investment? What can you get back in intangibles? And that's a question worth asking, even when it comes to giant rubber ducks. Now, if you have any questions or comments about this episode, just post them down below. And if there's anything you want me to cover in upcoming episodes, also post it down below. You know I'll answer back. So from downtown Toronto, in the presence of a giant rubber ducky, I'm Marc Gordon, and you've been watching Marc TV.